Is Lamar making a mistake betting on himself?
It's hard for me to sit up here and say that a guy, especially with the sport that I play, is making a mistake by betting on himself. The flip side of that and the selfishness in me would say, if I'm Lamar, I'm not going back out there on that football field until I have a contract. And here's one of the reasons why I think that way. You look at a guy like Teddy Bridgewater, who Lamar Jackson is close to, and also a fellow Louisville alum. You look at how he basically tore his knee up just dropping back in practice so easily. You look at those type of things, and then you look at the play style of Lamar Jackson, and you say, you know what, okay, he is susceptible to injury, the way he plays and the way he runs the football, and he does a damn good job of doing that. The other side, the other piece to this is that you look at Deshaun Watson, and you see this guy has gotten $230 million guaranteed. I'm also not going out there on the football field and taking a damn dollar less than what Deshaun Watson just got, because you look at Lamar Jackson. Here's a guy that is lovable. He's a team guy. You look at that team and how it derailed when he got injured last year. Not just that. You don't have any off-the-field issues with Lamar Jackson. We do see the things that are going on with Deshaun Watson right now. So if I'm Lamar, I'm not taking a penny less than $230 million guaranteed, because there's someone that just got that in Cleveland. And that's one of the reasons why Bisciotti was so upset about it when the Haslam's gave Deshaun Watson that money, is because they knew Lamar Jackson was going to be up next, and he's going to want some of the same things. But me, selfishly, I don't want Lamar going out there without his money, because I'm all for players getting their money and getting as much as they can. It's just that I don't want him to get injured, and he has a guy that he's close to that it happened to in practice in Teddy Bridgewater.
To your point, he is a better quarterback than Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson has never been MVP, let alone an all-pro quarterback. So there's that. And during that season, 2019, when Lamar Jackson reached MVP status, he set the quarterback rushing record that year, 36 touchdowns on top of that. Ask for everything, Lamar Jackson. Do us all a favor there, because he represents himself. Like, that's the reason I do want to see this thing work, with him taking the bet on himself, because there are so few players, especially at his position, who don't have big-time representation, you know, having these conversations back and forth with the front office. Like, I cover the Chicago Bears, so I cover Roquan Smith, who is eligible for an extension. He's a linebacker this season, and he represents himself. It is so few and far between where players are doing this in the NFL. So I really want to see this thing go through for Lamar Jackson, because if he does that, he sets the bar at a completely different level, getting a record-breaking contract for somebody who went out and literally got it himself. To Harry's point, though, and I'm wondering if this could possibly happen, and Sam, maybe you can speak to this, just knowing kind of the inner workings of the CBA and the NFLPA. What we saw happen in 2020, when all of the fines that for players who missed training camp because they were either holding out for a new contract, those didn't just magically go away. When I was covering the Vikings at that point, Dalvin Cook kind of did a hold in the entire 3 weeks of training camp during that COVID year. He eventually, on the eve of the season starting, got his big deal. But can Lamar kind of do a hold in, continue to, you know, show up to training camp so he's not fined every single day, and hopefully get that deal done before the 2022 season kicks off?
He could, but he's not going to. We all know that Lamar Jackson missed a good part of OTAs, and they asked him, hey, why'd you miss OTAs? Is that contract related? He said, no, it wasn't. I was actually throwing with my receivers in February when I was healthy. I wanted to get bigger, faster, stronger. And what did Lamar Jackson do in the last few months? He's gotten bigger, faster, stronger, put on 15 pounds of muscle. That's what we're talking about, this picture that we just saw. We also saw him, at least right now, he's throwing with his receivers. James Prochet, Rashad Bateman, he's with them right now. He was there for mandatory minicamp. And so I don't foresee a hold in happening. But what I do like is a point that you made, Courtney, about athletes representing themselves. So we're seeing it right now in Lamar Jackson representing themselves. We saw Bobby Wagner. We're seeing Bobby Wagner represent himself. Roquan Smith, who you cover, I played with, represented himself. And one thing about Roquan Smith, remember when he was getting drafted, he actually didn't show up. He missed the first part of minicamp and training camp because he was trying to get a better contract. And we actually applauded him and lauded him for it. So where I want to land this is the guys in the locker room, the guys who are on his team, they're actually on his side saying, hey, go get your money, go get yours. And I don't think he personally is sitting here saying, well, I got to go and get what Deshaun Watson got. He actually said, I'm my own man. I don't care about these other guys, right? Now, will he get what Deshaun Watson or any of these quarterbacks got? I think he'll get more than that because he has that MVP caliber resume on his in his resume. And so for me, I don't see it hold in happening. I also like the fact that he is betting on himself, not just on the football field, but also the fact that he's representing himself as an agent, allowing more other athletes to do the same.
Well, Richard Sherman was another guy, the back end of his career that represented himself. But when you look at people like Lamar Jackson, a phenomenal talent, and I actually love that he picked up the weight because he runs the football so much. But it's undeniable, however you say the word, can't even get it out my mouth.
Undeniable.
Yeah, there you go. It's undeniable that he is the top talent and the top quarterback in the National Football League, right? He is a guy within this organization that you mentioned, Sam, is beloved by so many. He's beloved by fans. He's beloved by people back home. He's beloved by Louisville because every time I go back to Louisville, there's people always talking about Lamar. He is so gracious with his time. He is he represents himself the proper way, the way you want your franchise player in the face of your franchise to represent himself when he's out in public. He's a guy that loves kids. We've seen him at camps, running routes and playing around. Now, granted, the Baltimore Ravens probably didn't want that, but that's just who Lamar Jackson is. So whatever he's asking for, if I was in ownership, I wouldn't mind giving him because I know the type of person he is, and not just the type of person that he is outside of the game of football. I know damn well we're a different ball club and a different team when we don't have Lamar Jackson out there on the football.
Well, that's exactly it. Like, because he gets hurt last year, they missed the playoffs.
Yeah.
Like, that's a big part of it. And, you know, if you don't have Lamar Jackson in the fold, you're not a good football team. Like, I mean, the Ravens had a great draft. They always seem to draft really well. But that's not going to overcome, like, if you didn't have Lamar Jackson at the quarterback position. And I'm not alluding to anything there, but, you know, what are you waiting on if you're the Ravens at this point?
Pay the man. Like, what are we talking
pay
about?
it now.
Come on.
Like,
Yesterday's price is not today's price.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming, sports, and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.